Ooh! I hope you heard that. Hello everyone. Glad the horror franchise. Back at it with another Halloween the Game video. By the way, in case you really are a Terrifier fan, I'm not really a Terrifier fan, but I am a Sienna fan. Lauren Rivera. Badass. So, today is going to be a long video. I wanted to cover this, the panel that ILLFONIC has done for Halloween the Game, discussing how the game works, and they take Q&A questions from fans that are there. I'm still jealous, by the way. Still jealous. This is going to be a long video, so you know what this video is all about, so let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to get myself comfy. If I walk around a little bit, then yeah, that's because I like to get a little energy in me, exercise. Let's get right into it, y'all. Let's react to this.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to ILLFONIC Presents Halloween. Today's panel will be talking about the impact of the original film, the legacy of the franchise, and what it's been like translating that into a video game. My name is Miles Dampier. I'll be your moderator today. And I want to start by introducing our amazing panel. So we're going to go through, we're going to have them share who they are and how they're connected to Halloween. First up, Ryan Freeman.
Hey everybody. My name's Ryan Freeman, and for the last 14 years I've helped Malik Akkad run all things Halloween and try to help the legacy of this iconic franchise endure. Produced the last 3 films in the franchise and have been lucky enough to be involved in this video game.
Awesome. Next up we have Jordan Mathewson.
Hello. I am the design director of ILLFONIC, and I've been with ILLFONIC for almost 10 years at this point, and extremely excited to be here and working on such a amazing franchise and IP and being able to bring it to life in the form of a video game. So,
I'm Jared Garrison. I'm Chief Creative Officer and Game Director on the project. Been at ILLFONIC for a long time, thank you. And it's beyond exciting to be able to talk to people about this. And the next guest, we just need to bring him on.
And yes, obviously last but not least, we are honored to be joined virtually by the man himself, John Carpenter.
The GOAT! God, he's up in age. But we still love him.
Alright, so we're going to start with Jared and Jordan. What was it like watching Halloween for the first time? Do you remember the first time you watched this film? Because for so many fans around the world, it's the blueprint. It's the blueprint for that genre.
It's definitely, I mean, I was born in 76. I feel like I'm the oldest person at ILLFONIC. So I remember that time, and I remember Halloween becoming one of those cultural characters that as a kid, little kid, seeing the kid wearing a Halloween mask and finding out what it was, and then seeing it for the first time, and then it being so active in that era. I just remember seeing it and seeing Michael show up out of nowhere, and then becoming absolutely afraid of him showing up out of nowhere. And I remember it just being that thing that stuck in my brain that really just always popped into my head, and that was the thing that, like, I knew we needed to get with this game when we started touching it.
Yep, not born in the 70s, but being able to come at it from a newer perspective and seeing how timeless something like that can appear to me as I watched it, and really basked in the horror that really branched off, and seeing it through a lens of seeing how it evolved over time into so many different things in the genre. It was very special to see and experience for the first time, and so exciting to actually be able to make the video game for it.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for everyone here, but I think all of us remember the first time they saw that movie. I was a small child.
I remember when I saw it the first time.
6 years old, I want to say, when I was introduced to Halloween. Changed my life forever, maybe for the worse, but who knows. So, Jared, you touched on this briefly, but what was it about this IP in particular that screamed, we need to make a game based on this franchise?
I mean, he's on the panel with us. The legend of John. You know, I mean, he's done so much, and this is like, you know, at the beginning of it, and you know, it's just one of those things where when we started talking to Malik and Ryan, and you know, the direction was the first film, and we were able to, you know, bring John into it. It's like, we have to do it, but we have to figure out what that game is first before we got really deep into it. And that's the thing about ILLFONIC that I'm very proud of, is we choose what we work on. We figure out what we want, and we go and find it, and then, you know, it is about the IP holders, and it was really great working with, just meeting Malik and Ryan, and the energy was there, and we got along so well that it was like, I got to go back and we got to figure out what this game is. And then we pitched them the game, and then we started working on the game, and then we got to meet John and showed them the game, and he was so amazing to us, where it's like, I still just, it was very exciting to have him say, I've done this. You guys don't need to ask for my permission. You need to do what you feel is best for it. And now I'm just deathly afraid, because I don't want to let John down.
And speaking of Malik, as you may have noticed today, we are one person down. He has a personal emergency come up, so we're wishing him all the best, but we wish he could be here with us. This next question is for Ryan and John. We've had so many amazing movies over the years based on this franchise, and we have had some video game iterations. I believe there was an Atari Halloween game, and there was a Retro Realms 2D side-scroller. But in your eyes, what was it like seeing Halloween translated into a very big video game?
I think John should answer this question first. I mean, his film.
It was fantastic. This game looked like a movie, and it plays like a movie, and I'm really excited by it.
And I think that, you know, one of our charges, especially mine, is to ensure that the game, and so to Jerry's point, they might get to pick what they work on, but we picked ILLFONIC for a good reason, and it you know, there was a long line of different suitors who would come to us we'd wanted to do a game for a while, but it had to be done right, and it had to honor the film. It had to be you know, based on the original, so we had everything in place, and ILLFONIC has really knocked it out of the park, and really listened to everything that we wanted and needed in the game, so that we ensured that it comes out and it respects that, you know, historic film.
I want to say that you used the original music, and anybody who knows the music well can tell it's on the game, and that just adds to the atmosphere, the fear, the momentum of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
It's a whole different character.
Those melodies are timeless, and people, resonate with that. So it says a lot about the sound design and the score of that film. Jared, Jordan, for some people, Halloween is the horror franchise. So no pressure.
Yeah.
But when we were looking at translating that into a game, what was the one thing you knew we had to get right? The one thing we had to nail with Halloween?
Michael has to be inevitable death and terrifying, and that perspective of being in the shoes of him or the civilians on the other side, having that dynamic of power versus vulnerability, and the ways we can play with that when you additionally plug in this multiplayer component, it brings forth just a very big focus onto Michael himself, as he is the driver of these matches. He is the one that should orchestrate these jump scares and command the neighborhoods that he's in, and that's part of that shape jump, which I'll let Jared kind of get into. But it's also just diving into first person, going inside the mask and hearing his breath in your ear as you're stalking people. So the stalking and the killing and everything that encompasses, just it was so crucial to get right and make sure it translated from what you see on film to in your hands in the gameplay as you're moving through the locations and trying to hunt people down.
Yeah, and just I've been just speaking about it because I'm so proud of a game design theory that came from a couple of drinks over beer of how do we make him show up out of nowhere? How does this happen? And it theorized, and then we put it down on paper, and then we presented it to Trancas and got their approvals to do it. But that was the backbone of the game to have Michael show up out of nowhere, which is just such an iconic thing that Michael can do. And then when we actually got it to work in game and we started playing it, and that natural scare that happens, and the fact that we are easily making the scariest game we've ever made, period.
Cool.
I can say that. Like, I can say definitively, like, when we're just play testing and trying to figure out a bug, I still get jump scared by Jordan moving around and shape jumping in, because mentally I think that the room is cleared, and I turn around and he's there, and I literally just jump from it. And that's from the film. That's like the thing that we needed to do. We needed to have Michael be able to disappear and reappear wherever he wanted, and you needed to always feel that you're in danger. Like, that is the thing that we needed to do. And then just the score and the soundtracks and the sound stabs and all of the things that were done in the 70s, by this small group of people that are just trying to get it done. Like, that is just the thing that I'm so proud that we've been able to match, with ILLFONIC being such an indie, small, scrappy studio as well. I think that the energy is very similar, and I hope that this does do what the first film did and drove the horror industry and drove this new era. And I'm just happy to be a part of it, but I'm happy that we were able to grab that piece that needed to be done.
Yeah, you touched on those design philosophies that we discussed a while back and play tested. And at PAX, we're letting people go hands-on with that for the first time. And it's so fun to see players get behind the mask and jump scare people.
Hopefully they get a beta.
The controller, it connects and they see it, and they get to live that power fantasy of being Michael Myers. So Ryan and John, same question to you, but from the flip side, what is the one thing that you feel that ILLFONIC needed to do when we were going to make a game based on this legendary film?
Well, I
They needed to make it scary.
that was what I was saying. Scary is the first order of business. And then,
Yeah.
obviously, we had to take a little creative liberty to make a game that's playable and enjoyable and do all those things. And so their job was really to connect a modern game with a, film from 1978 that is iconic for a lot of reasons, and it's dread that lives in your head. So I think that it's, playing that dread out through the controller as a survivor or as Michael was really key to finding the right playability in the game to make it something that, every fan that we encounter has been, asking for a game forever. But it's a trick to find out to make it done right, and so that you're actually experiencing the same emotions, the same feelings you get from watching the film.
So outside of it needing to be scary, John, anything else that we needed to nail this one?
No, that's it. That's the main thing.
Easy enough. So you touched on shape jump previously, and that was our team's interpretation of how Michael is around every corner. He's always lurking in the shadows. You never know where he's going to be. For Ryan and John, what was it like when you saw that mechanic for the first time? When we pitched this idea of Michael becoming the shadows, essentially.
John, go ahead.
He's
Dear.
he's a force.
I'll go. I think that our biggest concern was trying to explain why Michael could appear and reappear, because every fan has their own theories, their own things, and so this was kind of a leap of saying, okay, this is one way to explain it, so until we actually really saw it in action, weren't 100% sold, but when we did see it, we're like, this works. This is a good mechanic for the game that provides that, what I just spoke about was that feeling that lives in your head. Could he be around this corner? And so when you're playing the game, and if you're a survivor and Michael is there and then he's not, and then all of a sudden he's there, and then if you're playing Michael and you get to do that to somebody, you now just lived through Michael and got to do what he did in the film and create that scare that, you know, somebody experienced from the film. So I think it worked very well, and we're very happy with how it turned out.
This is a difference between movie making and game making. In the movie, we could do Michael disappearing and appearing very easily. And he was everywhere, and he was in the shadows, and he was going to get you. In the game, you get to play as Michael. So I think this is a great game design to be able to allow you to visually disappear and appear and attack the innocent humans in the town.
And stage up your own way of killing people.
So we kicked off this panel with a multiplayer overview trailer, which gave you a look at the multiplayer experience in Halloween. Halloween is a single-player and multiplayer experience, so this question is for everyone. But how has it felt revisiting the iconic moments of an all-time classic film and having the opportunity to inject new moments, new characters?
Let's go first.
I mean, I'll say I've seen the movie, the original film, hundreds, if not 1,000 times, and so it is amazing to expand the four corners of the sandbox to play in, and to see what, you know, was a $300,000 budget film turn into something vastly bigger, and kind of paint out those corners that we never saw before. So I think it's a very exciting way to experience something so beloved.
Yeah, and it really gave us a
We
chance.
didn't have $300,000, guys.
Well, it didn't all go.
225,000.
Well, you had to pay
235?
Pleasance, so, you know.
You had to pay Donald Pleasance?
That's great.
Yeah.
Prospect of being able to go back to something, you know, and really dive through it plenty of times to really understand what's going on, and then thinking about, you know, what was happening elsewhere and kind of how we get to go through and discover, and also just learn a little bit about how we are building Michael's gameplay, because while we are building that multiplayer experience, there's a big part of it that has to be so true to what we see and what we've noticed about everything, that it's more interesting than anything to really dive into the possibilities of what he's up to and kind of how he goes about things, to then, you know, translate that into a multiplayer experience as well, and let others feel what that's like to be on the other end of the knife.
Wow. Yeah, and I mean, really for us with the story and everything, it's not just us on this, it's our writers. We've got extremely talented writers that went through every frame, every second. They've got all of these crazy ideas of what Michael was up to in the town, and what the town was doing outside of that, you know, 90 some odd minutes, and it's crazy because it's also very scary to be messing with something that all of you guys love so much. So it is nerve-wracking to be making something so important to so many people, and I genuinely feel that we've done our due diligence, we've done our just critical soul searching of, like, how would I feel not being so close as a developer, but how would I feel just being someone that loves this film so much. And I think we're doing a really good job, and I can't wait to show this in the coming months, because it comes out in a few months as well. So there's going to be a lot of really great reveals around the story and all of that, and I cannot wait to show more.
Yeah, and I think to that end too, you know, unfortunately Malik couldn't be here today, Malik Akkad. He's really intimately involved in this. It's he and I that talk to Jared, to Jordan, to Chuck, to everybody at ILLFONIC, and go through everything. It's not a layer of people below us that are filtering stuff up. It's us that are hands-on. So it's, you know, been a great working relationship to help get this right. And so you really have the people that are trying to honor the legacy of this, help get it right and involved in every aspect of it.
And then, John, for you, how does it feel having this story revisited?
It feels great. Now, guys, I've always thought that Halloween would, ever since I began playing video games, I've always thought that Halloween would make a fantastic game. And it's now been realized right in front of my eyes. And I'm loving it.
How about that?
What was it like for you, John and Ryan, stepping into this virtual Haddonfield for the first time? We've shown glimpses of it. We have a sandbox that players can experience. Obviously, our team's very intimate with the design and the setup, but for you, as someone who's so attached to this franchise and this legacy, what was it like jumping into this, or I guess reimagining, for lack of a better term?
Well, I gotta get a lot better at video games first. That's, mine is, my kids have taken over our PS5 at home pretty well. So once I got the hang of the controls, I really enjoyed getting to experience, what's gone from most of my experiences, the films and the producing those, and then also the merchandise side. So it's been very two-dimensional, very, static. So to have the ability to now, after all this time, experience a dynamic playability, the dynamic character that I love and work with every single day of my life, it's awesome.
I know
It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah, cool.
Brevity, guys. You guys talk a lot now. Make it simple.
short and sweet, all right? So our team has spent a lot of time working to make Haddonfield feel like a living, breathing horror sandbox. For Jared and Jordan, what has it been like, and how are we empowering players to create their own horror movie moment in this game?
It's about giving them the environment and the tools to do so. Like I said, Michael is the driving force of everything, and his decisions and his moves throughout the locations are pivotal into what makes the game scary and terrifying. But the environment itself and the spooky atmosphere and the terrifying, the false positive jump scares and things make that tension build up to then unfold based on what you find or what you encounter. So it's definitely the dynamicism and empowering players on both sides, but keeping that balance just right so there's still vulnerability.
It's very hard. Huh? Yeah, John. It's very hard to do. Yeah, I mean, it is all of the layers. It's just all of the layers, and it's all of the experience that we've had over the almost decade of making asymmetrical horror games. Like, this is not our first rodeo. We've done this a lot. We're pulling a lot of pages from all the other games. We're returning to horror. Predator, Ghostbusters, Killer Clowns, like, that was not, this is true slasher horror. This is going back to the violence and the bloodshed to match this IP the way that it needs to be. And honestly, it is the fact that once you realize that you can do nothing to stop Michael, except for getting everyone together and rallying people together like they do in the films.
Kills.
You need to run. You need to get away. You need to. If you see the mask, you're too close. And that's the cool part is people that I've been watching going through the line, and I forget that we're showing it downstairs, and it's so exciting because it is the first time that we've seen people play it that we haven't walked through and told them all the nuance and the people that go through and they come back and over again. I've seen people rally together to take on Mike and really just beat the crap out of him, but then they do the right thing to get out of that bully scenario. And there's been a lot of things that Jordan really breaks down with the game layers and all of these pieces to make it so he does feel truly dangerous. Like in the films, when you see him, you're in trouble, and that's the thing that it's very hard, especially in a video game. Like, you're not getting shocked if you die. You get to respawn in eventually, but like, you need to be afraid to survive against Mike. Like, Michael is dangerous. He is death, and so when you see him, it's best to run.
Yeah, if you're alone with Michael, it doesn't end well in pretty much any scenario. And for us as a team, it's been really great to see the show floor and see those sandbox elements come to life when players get to essentially role play their fantasy horror experience. And whether that's you being the hero, saving your friends, or that's you just making an escape, or trying to take on Michael. Like, it's been so fun to see all the systems come together, and I think that's really a testament to all of the effort our team has put in to build out that horror sandbox. Do any of you have a intense experience with this game? The most intense experience with this game that you want to share? The most scared you've ever been?
Well, that's some of the things that we haven't gotten to get a good focus on, because everyone's going through it in the demo right now. It's very quick just because of, the lines going through. But one thing that we have in there that isn't very noticeable is there's hallucinations that can appear of Michael. And the fact that when constantly I'm just testing by myself, and I'm sometimes I'm working late and I'm in a dark room, and to still be completely caught off guard by something I know is there, but just never expect. It happens throughout testing, and I've had it happen consistently in play tests, and it's just incredible to always get those. So it's tough to isolate to one experience, because they always end up just catching me off guard when he appears in the room next to me and grabs me, and I didn't have the chance to do anything. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, it does go back to just playtests where it's, we're playtesting and I naturally run out of a building because the power gets turned off. And it's lizard brain kicks in. And those moments where I'm searching for something and I turn around and he's there. And those shocking moments, like those are those things that stack up, and especially when we play hardcore and we're actually trying to play the game and not look for bugs or anything like that. There are many, many moments where I'm just like, this is really, really scary. Like, this is easily our scariest game we've ever made. This is the sounds, the tones, the things that were done in the film so long ago that if you were just to have a cell phone sound that goes off, like, I feel all of us tingle when we hear those stab sounds. But that being in the game, on top of the layers of I'm trying to survive, I'm trying to get away, like that's all of those pieces come together, and it is genuinely, like, we play horror games for those endorphin hits. We play horror games to get scared. We watch horror films to be scared. This is a scary game, and it's really cool because it's not based off of triggers and events. You don't play it once, or you don't watch a streamer once and then you know what's going to happen. That's so common in horror games, and I love horror games, and I've made a lot of horror games in the past, but unless it's dynamic, you have that linear experience, like watching a film for the first time, that scares the crap out of you, but after the 30th or 40th time, you're enjoying the film, you're seeing the subtleties, you're seeing the camera work, but the game is always dynamic, it's always changing. Michael's always in different spots, you're always getting a different experience, so it always scares you. And it's really rad. It's really cool to be able to return to this type of core horror gameplay that it demands to be violence. It demands to be scary.
I cannot believe I'm on a panel when someone used the words endorphin hits.
I can't believe I'm on a panel with John Carpenter.
That's awesome.
Well, John, we're gamers.
That's Jared's ultimate endorphin hit right now.
Like my hands should out. But yeah, no, it's an endorphin hit right now for sure.
So, Jordan, you touched on this, but yeah, that sense of paranoia in this game is one of my favorite elements of it. You touched on the false Michaels, because the movie does such an amazing job of making you paranoid that Michael is everywhere. And not only is Michael everywhere from a player perspective, but we have these little moments that are dynamic where you see a Michael and you don't know if it's
He's right there in the front row.
oh shit.
John Carpenter.
So I guess this question is more for Jared and Jordan, but for everyone here, ILLFONIC has done a lot of asymmetrical horror games. There have been a lot of asymmetrical horror games. For us and our team and our mission statement, what makes this not, I guess, just another asym horror game? What makes this special?
There's a lot of depth, and it's something I can talk about for hours if someone got me going about it.
We don't have hours.
Yeah, I know that, and that's why I'm trying to keep it quick, and then so John doesn't judge me as well. But the thing is, it's about creating a very robust sandbox of things, because that's what makes these online multiplayer games have that longevity, and that thing that 1,000 hours in, you're seeing things that you've never seen before because of the alchemy of the pieces that you give. So it's really about crafting something that allows people to consistently jump in and enjoy themselves. And it's also needs to be scary. Like it needs to be there, and that's where the environments and the lighting and the sound design, the music, and all the other pieces of gameplay come together and really create those moments over time, consistently and in different ways. And then, of course, I think the biggest thing is also pacing that out nicely, because the second people understand what they're supposed to be doing, they can get really into a thing that kind of breaks the experience. So it's up to us to design the things that keep you playing and building consistent horror Halloween experiences.
I decline my time to give John a question.
Should I let you?
No, I want you to, like, John's here. I'm here to hear John. I don't want to, Jordan said everything for me, so. No.
John?
Yeah. I mean, for me, like, you are a gamer. You've been gaming as long as I feel games have been around. Like, for you, when you think of horror games, do you see it differently than how you've done your movies? Is it the same type of tone and timing?
Video games are an art form unto themselves, very different than movies. So I don't compare them. But if I'm playing a horror game, what the big deal is, I want to be scared. And I want a chance to survive, but probably I won't. And the games that I play, the scarier ones, you know, the monsters come around the corner out of the darkness, and they're faster than I am, and they kick my ass.
Well, luckily enough, our monster walks all the time.
That's true.
Great decision for that. That made it very fun to balance this game out for that.
But he's inevitable.
He is inevitable.
You know, you can't stop him. He's coming.
Yep. That's exactly what was such a huge thing about what makes Shape Jump so terrifying, is in that physical form, he is just walking, and he is just walking towards you, and that's that thing that you see coming towards you. You would never expect him to be 30 yards this way, and when that happens is when it just hits hard, and then you're again trying to avoid him just getting in arm's reach to grab you and kill you.
Now, speaking of being everywhere, now I'm scanning the audience. I'm just seeing little Michael faces pop up. So the legacy of that original Halloween film endures to this day, and for so many people it's so important to them. Are we viewing this game as a way to introduce an entirely new generation to this IP, or as a way to foster an existing fandom?
I think both.
Is that to me?
This is everybody.
The panel has been stumped.
Look, I think the film lives on its own, and I think its popularity and its iconic nature is such that it's watchable even to this day for a first-time viewer, and its power and its scariness and its recognition of how great it is easily viewed by anybody. So the film has to live on its own. This is an attempt to allow both longtime fans and new fans to experience what the film was conveying in a new way. And I think that it's tied to it. It's not a way to retell a story. It's nothing but allowing audiences a modern way to experience, at least try to get as close to the film as they can to experience it in their home and for themselves.
I feel, I mean, everyone knows who Michael Myers is. I feel like you could go anywhere in the world and show them Michael Myers, and I think everyone knows who he is, and I think that games is a medium that has been growing, and I mean, shit, look at PAX growing all these years, look at all of these gamers, and look at this is not a Hollywood panel, this is a gaming panel, and gaming is growing so much more that I feel like there might be some kids that know who Michael Myers is, maybe watched a film, and I hope that this drives people to the original core of the film to find and see that first piece, and that's why I'm excited that we're focusing purely on the first piece of this, and then they can explore and go to the other parts. But I don't think anyone doesn't know who Michael Myers is. Just go in the middle of nowhere in any part of the earth, and I think that if you see the mask, you know he's a bad guy. You know he's scary, and I think that the game is going to help drive that even more. But I mean, this franchise is we're just kind of like plugging into it, and I think that's the exciting part for us, is we're able to plug into it. We're able to use all of this massive history, and just move from there. And it's like what we've done in all of the other IPs that we've worked on. We add to, we try to drive a little bit more excitement and a little bit more pieces to it, but it's always the IP that continues to drive in the direction that I feel like the IP owners need to keep it going.
I'd like to interject in here. What do you mean this is not a Hollywood panel?
Well, this panel's for PAX.
I live in Hollywood.
Speak for yourself, Jared.
This is the most Hollywood panel.
Then
I am now
you are
in Hollywood, USA, and it's a beautiful sunny day. What's the temperature in Boston? Oh,
Is that why you didn't show up? It's too cold.
John, I came out here and it's cold. It's 30-some degrees today. So
yeah.
Well, yes.
Hollywood.
This
Yeah.
panel
Hollywood represents half this panel.
This panel is a Hollywood panel, absolutely. But the fans here are for video games, and they're lucking out for a Hollywood panel, I guess. It's pretty exciting. But I didn't realize this was a Hollywood panel until now. I'm gonna give you a pretty big ego.
Mr. Hollywood over here.
Yeah.
Are there any last thoughts from the group before we open it up to some audience questions?
I'd just like to thank all the fans, first of all. I mean, geez, that line for the game has been capped, and people are patiently waiting for their chance to play. The game doesn't live without all of you showing up here for this panel, sharing things on social media, talking about it. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but it is truly appreciated, and it's why we do it. It's without you, this game doesn't live and breathe, and hopefully it lives for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
And there's so much more to explore here. It's such an honor to be able to work with such a timeless franchise, a timeless, iconic villain that we have to work with, and being able to combine what the beauty of the art form of film with what the art form of video games is creates just an amazing cross-pollination that I'm just always excited to dive into. But I'm excited to get this game out and really get people to get excited about all the pieces we've added, because it's going to be incredible.
And I'm honestly, like, this energy from the community, the fans, the people that I've been walking through the crowd of people standing outside talking about the other games that we've done and theorizing other things, and it's been amazing, because I feel like everyone's coming to understand what this is, and I feel that we're not going to let people down, but I also feel like Jordan and I need to get back to work and really continue to kick the shit out of this game, because like we want to make sure that you guys aren't let down and you get a horror game that is Halloween.
Just one final thank you, obviously, to John for creating such an iconic character. Stories that without you, there's none of this. So obviously that, and then also to Malik, who couldn't be here, but for steering the ship of Halloween for the last 40 years or 30 years, how long his father before him, but Halloween is still
20.
continuing on because of the work that he does too, so that's also important.
John?
God bless all here.
Alright, so we are staging some mics off to the side of the aisles here. If you have a question that you want answered by the panel, come on down. And in the meantime, Jared, any super vague teases we want to give anyone while we're here?
We have a video game that we're making. It will be supported after launch with things and stuff. And it's going to be really cool. And it's really exciting because we have a lot of really neat things to make sure everyone's happy and make sure that this game is continues to go for a long time after launch.
Cool.
Awesome.
Please.
We'll start over here on the left.
Hi, I'm Chris from here in Massachusetts with the Radio of Horror. These kind of games in the past have come out and then unfortunately been canceled, like Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Killer Clowns game.
You already just
What's
said
going to happen? What's going to happen to make sure that doesn't happen with Halloween so soon after it comes out?
You've played Predator, I hope. You didn't name Predator.
They're still supporting that.
Predators now. We supported it for 5 years. Ghostbusters we're still supporting. Clowns we're still supporting. So I feel like we got a pretty good track record.
Yeah,
Did
the
I not
support
tell
is
y'all?
important, but a lot of it does also come down to the foundational elements we're building to plan for longevity. We're improving every game we do, and to make sure that the gameplay itself, kind of like I was talking about earlier with the online environment, making sure that it's stable and gives people an opportunity to enjoy it for as long as they can is crucial to us, and updates and everything coming after that. But the core foundation needs to be solid, and that's a huge thing we focused on for this game.
And from a non-technical side, Friday the 13th had a lot of legal rights issues that caused problems with that one, so it's not an issue for this one. So.
Good.
Bowser.
Hi, my name is Kyler. I had a question about Halloween Horror Nights. If any Friday, not Friday the 13th, Halloween movies could be made into a Halloween Horror Nights haunted house, which one would it be based on?
We've done Horror Nights in the past, but we're here to talk about the video game. We've done several Horror Nights though, but perhaps in the future. But Halloween has been a very popular house at that event.
Awesome. And back to the left side.
Alright, hello. I'm Elizabeth. I'm a student at Ringling College of Art and Design. I have a question about reference collections. So, as artists, we collect reference to get some of those good PBR moments. Aside from the films, where did you guys do your research?
We dove into, the film is obviously the source material, but the idea of it is that we had to kind of balance out the fact that it was shot in California with the fact that it's supposed to be a Midwestern Illinois suburb.
Damn palm
so we
trees.
went through, and I'm personally from the Midwest. I'm very familiar with Illinois, but a lot of the artists then, we used all the tools at our disposal to really understand what makes Illinois town, understanding the types of buildings, understanding additionally that it's a period piece and that it's in the 70s. So we had to look back at a lot of older reference material to not only understand what's going to be inside of these houses, but what do the neighborhoods look like, and when you're in there, what does it feel like to see those things? So it's been a journey, but we've definitely focused on whatever we can find that embodies that time period as well as the location in the U.S.
Cool, thank you very much.
Awesome. And back to the right side.
Hi there, my name is Ben, and I was really glad to see that Dr. Loomis is in this game. I don't know if it's too early, but I wonder who's voicing him.
Yes. Yeah.
You know his name, right? You can kind of talk to his history.
Yeah, his name's Colin McCann, and he was somebody I had actually found when we shot Halloween 2018, and we were looking for Sound Alike Loomis to do audio tapes that were discovered by the two documentarians in the film. and he was actually not. He was a stand-up comedian, part-time, and did a couple crazy impersonations. I just found him on YouTube and started talking to him, and since then he's done Loomis in our pinball machine, and now in this game.
Nice. Well, can't wait to see him.
Thank you.
And back up, guys.
Thank you.
Not the greatest voice
my name is
actor,
Amy.
but
I just wanted to say thank you guys for coming out to speak today. It's very fun. My question is more out of curiosity. Are there any current horror movies right now that have kind of captured your interest, and why?
We've been working so much.
I've been in, my head has been in the ground on this game, so it's been tough to consume any other type of media. So
Yeah, I haven't been to the movie theater in like a year.
I liked Weapons a lot.
Yeah.
Weapons was great, but
Fucking weird movie too.
I had no idea what I was going into with Weapons, so the entire time I'm like, wait, what? What's going on here? Like I think that's the coolest part about horror is it's becoming so abstract, and I also feel that the films that I see, I've always been a sci-fi person. I've always been really deep in sci-fi action films, and really horror scares the shit out of me because it rattles in my brain for a really long time. And so as we got into Halloween, I watched every Halloween so many times, and so I did start to see Michael Myers in corners of my eyes and stuff like that. But the newest films I definitely consume, but I love the classics. I love going back to the classics. I love going back to, the 80s, 90s when practical was so normal. Like, I kind of get cringy at a lot of this over big CG stuff. I really like what Terrifiers has done, and because it's so over the top and it's practical, but I want more story. I think that's the thing, is like it's that balance of like my brain starts to spin all of these other yarns and tales. But yeah, I think that Weapons is definitely one of those things that I saw that I was like, wow, I think horror's getting really crazy now. And it was so crazy that I was like, this is a horror film. Okay, this is wild.
She just asked your favorite movie, Jerry.
Yeah, sorry, fine. I'm sorry. John is literally staring at us. I'm just seeing, like, ask John some questions, man. He's here.
Let's hear about John talking about some horror movies.
Yeah, John, what horror?
What was that movie that was up for an Academy Award? Begins with S.
Sinners.
Oh, Sinners, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's very good.
I haven't seen that one.
Guys, the scariest thing is real life.
Yeah, no shit.
Movies, video games, novels, that's all great, but that's harmless. Real life will kill you.
Probably the best words of wisdom anyone could have heard in a panel.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And we'll go back to the right side here.
I'm a horror fanatic. I'm from Berkeley, Massachusetts. I'm just saying that I've seen a lot of strange and funny and unique cosmetics in any of the horror games you made. I'm just wondering what kind of cosmetics I would expect in the future for the Halloween game.
Yeah.
I'm not saying a single word.
Damn it.
yeah, we're not discussing too much of the future content, but we will reveal things over time, so you'll get a taste of it later.
I'd say here in a couple months.
But be patient. Be patient, but look at what we've done in the past. We want to try to be hyper respectful, but we also want to kind of expand how we can. But everything needs to get through Trancas. It needs to get hyper approved, so if you don't like it, it's their fault, not ours.
That's
we just throw out ideas.
Respect the IP
Yeah.
and also give players expression in multiplayer games. So there's a multi approach, and it'll be great.
Okay, thanks.
Awesome, thank you. Our first Michael off to the left here.
Hey there, my name is Jay. I'm from Johnson City, Tennessee. The weather is wonderful here in Massachusetts. But this is a question for Jordan and Jared. What are some potential franchises that you would want to explore in the future with asymmetrical horror, whether that be straight up horror, like would you want to do a Scream game in the future, or would you want to do something kind of more along the lines of the tone of Ghostbusters, like Jurassic Park, for example?
They're already doing a Jurassic Park, dude.
I mean,
Scream.
we're talking to a lot of people because we have to work so far ahead with games, so I can't say the games that I would want to make because we might be talking to them. But the thing about our future games is definitely
Nightmare on Elm Street, by the way.
we want to stay deeper in horror and gore and continue making hyper scary games. I feel like what we've done in the past, we've learned a lot, but I think that horror is those great moments of absurdity, laughing because you just got scared. And then those scary moments need to really be impactful. So I think that the big thing for anything that we're doing in the future is it needs to be really based in horror. You know, I would love to do a Big Trouble in Little China game. Absolutely love to do a Big Trouble in Little China game.
One of my favorite movies of all time.
I mean, such an amazing film. But how do you be not the main character? How do you put the gravitas of Jack Burton not being the hero, but being the character of that? Like, that film is just so timeless and so amazing that I would love to figure out how to make a game with that. We haven't talked to anyone about it, so I can say that openly, and I can give John the flowers that he deserves for such an amazing film. But all the other IPs that we want to make stuff for, we're going to hold that close to our chest, and we'll.
Are you talking about cheating on us, huh? Are you talking about cheating?
And also, like, Ryan will get mad. But yeah, we're excited for the future of ILLFONIC. Like, it's a very exciting thing, and we're not going to stop doing what we're doing. Like, this is. I feel people from the press, the fans, they get what we're doing, and I think that it's really exciting that people acknowledge it.
Awesome. All right, and apologies to all three of you for staring at you from the front row. It's just part of the job description, man. So thank you guys.
Thank you. We have time for one more question, so we're going to kick it off. No pressure. Final question to close it out. What do we got?
So, I'm Chris from Massachusetts, and how many iterations of Michael, of the Shapes character model and gameplay mechanics did you go through before you landed the perfect, most authentic version that you have?
Are you acknowledging it? That's the most perfect, most authentic?
That is subjective, and that's totally up to you.
Because I feel like it is.
As far as I'm concerned, so far so good.
Thank you. That's
love
awesome.
it.
I think we literally probably 9 back and forths with just you guys.
Yeah.
And then a bunch with the devs, a bunch with like, I would say the panel of people that were looking at each fold, each crease.
I think it starts out with a foundational model that they come up with, and then it gets narrowed down in the macro level, and then we get down to where it's like, hey, the back of the mask is not quite pinched enough, so it gets really specific. So there were definitely probably nine or 10 times that we were.
Yeah. And then gameplay, thousands. Every time you tweak something and move something and adjust the speed or the availability of the light in the map for where he can appear in and out, it's endless, and it's not going to stop because it can continue to get better as we play test it.
It's tough because John spoke to this. Movie making is totally different than video games, where when we shoot a film, you get to choose where you put the lights. You choose where you get to put the camera. So Michael's mask gives off different shadows and shapes and textures depending on where you have those things. So when you have a video game where your camera's moving, the lighting sources are moving, the lighting sources are different, it can create a different look on the mask. So ILLFONIC's done a very good job in game of, making sure that from all angles the mask looks as great as it can get, despite not having that locked off ability that we would have in film.
Excellent. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone who showed up, hung out, and shared their love of Halloween with all of us. Let's give a round of applause for our amazing panel here one more time. John Carpenter and beautiful Hollywood for the biggest Hollywood panel of PAX East. Biggest Hollywood.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. Thanks, John. Enjoy the weather out there.
Yeah, enjoy the sun.
Thank you very much.
What do you guys think of that? Did you like it? Because I did. Very much liked it. I'm very, very much looking forward to what they have in store in the future. In the next couple of months. Oh, God. I want this game now. I want this game now, guys. I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. But you know what? Patience is a virtue. It's like playing a game of chess. Michael Myers is patience. He has massive patience. He waited 15 years to escape the sanitarium of Smith's Grove. So, did you guys like this? I hope you did, because I normally don't do these kind of videos. But since it's for Halloween the game, it had to be a must. But until then, be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.